Thank you, Your Excellency. Excellencies, I feel honored to be in your midst, thanks to the mission of Qatar, Liechtenstein, and to our colleagues who spoke from the Swedish, French, and German mission, and sharing their experience with us. As a matter of fact, as soon as I read the title of the event, I felt some kind of hope. First cracks in the Syrian impunity wall. I remember when the Syrian Revolution started and we started documenting the names of the victims and detainees. As a matter of fact, there were a large number of volunteers. Every day we received hundreds of emails, letters. All these volunteers wanted one thing, is to bring the perpetrators to account and to prevent them from repeating these crimes and to expose them before the public opinion. Some people think that perhaps there's some kind of despair after all these years. There was the international committee, the International Inquiry Committee, started its work in Syria. In our network, we are the main source to provide UNHCR with the names of the victims in Syria in all what they have published. I expected the issuance of the first report of the Commission of Inquiry. The first report was issued on 23rd November 2011. The first report described all kinds of crimes committed by the Syrian authorities. There were crimes against humanity, genocide, forced disappearance, torture. They were at large scale and they were systematic. Between 23 November, there was a report also by the Council of Human Rights, and the report of the Commission of Inquiries is different from that of Council of Human Rights. We expected that there should be the implementation of the responsibility protection, which was adopted by the General Assembly in 2005. In paragraph 138, it says that the state is responsible for the protection of people against crimes, against atrocity crimes, war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing. Paragraph 139 about the responsibility of the state, it says that if the state fails in carrying out its responsibility, then there is the role of the International Committee in accordance with the 6th, 8th, and 7th chapter. Not only has the state failed in protecting Syria, but it is the state that has committed crimes against humanity since 2011. We have many now mechanism at the international level. There are thousands of files. We have files that are ready to be submitted for tribunals. And we are waiting for a court that is recognized, so that we can provide all the documents, all the evidence to them. There are certain incidents that we can also present to the prosecutor. However, there is no court to which we can submit all this evidence and all these cases. The cases that we submit belongs to everybody. But we must say that 90% of the crimes were committed by the regime. we have the first option, which is the special tribunal, international tribunal, as it happened for Yugoslavia in 1993 and for Rwanda in 1994, and this belongs to Security Council. Then to refer the matters to ICC. Syria has not joined ICC. And there should be a referral Security Council to ICC, and this happened in Syria in Resolution 1973. There is also a draft resolution submitted by France, and we thank France for that. And it was rejected in 22 May in 2014, and it was supported by all states. And Russia used veto to fail it. And now I would like to refer the resolution talked about prosecuting all parties, not only the regime. However, Russia rejected the draft resolution because it knows that the system, the regime, is involved in all crimes of war, crimes against humanity, and that all the symbols of that regime will be persecuted, as it was indicated by the Swedish ambassador. Now, after 30 September 2015, Russia got involved in the conflict in Syria and sided with the Syrian regime, and it is fighting using its forces. Before 30 September 2015, it was just supporting the regime logistically and providing all kinds of support. But after 30 September, the situation became different. Russia has become one party of the conflict, although there was a request by the Syrian government or Syrian regime to Russia to provide assistance. But Russia committed crimes of war. And this is the basic point. What I would like to say in this respect is that Russia cannot ever accept referring the case to ICC because because it is involved in crimes of war in Syria. We have documented 2,219 civilians were killed. Among 491 were children, 316 were women. The third option is to refer to the principle of unity for peace in accordance with Resolution 337 in 1950. This is what I would like to talk about here, because Security Council is unable to do anything because Russia, the permanent member, has used veto 4 times, especially in the last time when it refused to refer the case to ICC.
مرات بحالة العدوان على مصر بال56.
It's a principle that was referred to 3 times during the 1956 aggression against Egypt, and again regarding the issue of the separation war in Palestine. The ICJ 2003 was requested for an opinion on basis of the resolution of the General Assembly, which was issued, but this remained a consultative opinion. This in Syria is what we think we can do in Syria now. Fourthly, is the international juridical authority, and which our members did talk. In consonance with international law, the criminals accused of violations against humanity and war crimes, irrespective of their nationalities. But after 2000, the European countries changed their laws, and most of them have said that the criminal must be found in their territories. Some countries, as was mentioned by the distinguished ambassador of France, that should be of a French nationality or an aggression was committed against the French nationality. But some say, irrespective of nationality, is a criminal who committed crimes against humanity and must be persecuted. But this issue faces some difficulties for us. as was said by the Swedish ambassador and the German ambassador, there are refugees who were fighting on the side of the regime or any group and were discovered and therefore were held accountable. But the leaders did not seek asylum in Europe because they know that. Therefore, they will run to
لديهم مئات الملايين من الدولارات
to rogue states like Iran and other countries, and the Syrian government will continue. They can buy nationalities as well. Now, why this debate? As I have said in the introduction, it is of grave importance to the Syrian society because, as was said, Ambassador of Liechtenstein, there is no mention, not even the mere mention of accountability is not there. At the beginning of the popular uprising in 2011, we heard this. The United States did talk a lot about this issue, and after that there was the European initiative, the Great European Initiative, and in January 2013, 58 countries signed and requested that the issue be referred to the International Criminal, the ICC. And after the draft, the resolution of France and the Security Council, there was the Russian veto. Since then, we have never heard about accountability. And regrettably enough, and I say this as an activist in defense of human rights, that especially with the issue of negotiations, we have started listening to terms like, now we have negotiations, and therefore no one should talk about accountability. We understand that the term accountability should not be used, but as lawyers, we never agree to the fact that accountability be ignored, that the major criminals who have committed crimes against the Syrian community should have no future in the Syria of the future. This is the first point. The second point is the United Nations is more inclined to realizing stability at the cost of justice, at the expense of justice. This is what happened in the Bosnia in the Dayton agreements, for example. This leaves a fragile community. This leaves an unstable community. There are mass graves. There are major crimes that have been committed. There is a large degree of violence that was documented and was shown to the entire, that affected the entire Syrian community. Therefore, stability alone would not realize, would not help. Then we started hearing about a transitional period with a limited role for the president. We understand that either a transitional period or a president. Either we amend the constitution and give limited power to the president. This means that we do not understand the Syrian reality, because the president's legitimacy does not draw his legitimacy from a constitution. He dominates the state. Even if we give him limited authorities, he will be in control of the army and the security organs and the security apparatuses, etc. After 6 years, we realize anyone who follows up could notice that the regime didn't hold any single, even a junior officer, accountable for. In fact, it gives them immunity. This is what encourages them to commit these crimes and to pride themselves on it. And there are, in the Syrian constitution, there is a legalization of the crime by giving them giving immunity to those who commit crimes. The People's Assembly, the Parliament, didn't call for any investigation. The Parliament justifies instead these crimes and this brutal authority. As was said by the Swedish ambassador, the responsibility of leadership in international law is not, the accountability will not be to the leaders, but all those the military elements who have known about these crimes, and even if they know that there are crimes and they didn't take measures to stop them, this doesn't happen in the Syrian situation. All organs are involved in the crimes against the Syrian community. I don't want to belabor the point. Probably would open the floor for debate and then we follow. Thank you.